Imagine this. One morning, you step outside, and suddenly, every breath you take is pure oxygen. No nitrogen, no carbon dioxide, just 100% pure oxygen. Sounds refreshing? Think again, because within seconds, the world as you know it could explode. From spontaneous fires, to your lungs burning from the inside, and even the collapse of the entire atmosphere. This isn't science fiction. This is what could actually happen if Earth's air suddenly turned into pure oxygen. So what would happen to our bodies, our planet, and all life as we know it? Buckle up. Things are about to get seriously intense. Have you ever taken a deep breath and wondered, what exactly did I just inhale? The air around us isn't just oxygen. In fact, most of it is made up of something your body barely even uses. Here's the breakdown of Earth's atmosphere. 78% nitrogen, a mostly inert gas that doesn't react much inside your body. And that's a good thing. It helps keep your breathing environment stable and prevents harmful chemical reactions. 21% oxygen, the real star of the life show. It's what keeps you alive, thinking, and moving. The remaining 1% is a mix of argon, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and trace gases like neon, helium, and krypton. But why is oxygen, just 1/5 of the atmosphere, so important? Imagine every cell in your body as a tiny factory. To run, it needs energy. And to make that energy, it needs oxygen. This process is called cellular respiration, where oxygen is used to burn glucose and create ATP, the energy currency of life. Without oxygen, these cell factories shut down. Within minutes, your brain starts to fail, your heart stops beating, and life fades away. The human brain is especially addicted to oxygen. Even though it makes up just 2% of your body weight, it uses about 20% of your oxygen supply. That's why if you stop breathing for just a few minutes, you could faint, suffer memory loss, or even experience irreversible damage. Here's something wild. If the oxygen level in the atmosphere rose too high, say to 30% or more, fires would start more easily, wounds would heal more slowly, and your own body could start to break down faster due to oxygen damage. But if it dropped below 15%, humans couldn't survive in a healthy state. What happens if oxygen reaches 100%? Imagine this. You strike a match, and instead of a small flame, the entire room explodes into fire, like gasoline had been poured everywhere. Why? Pure oxygen is an incredibly powerful catalyst for combustion. Under normal conditions, a flame needs at least 16% oxygen to stay lit. But with 100% oxygen, anything flammable, like wood, fabric, paper, even hair and skin, can ignite instantly. Wildfires wouldn't spread slowly, meter by meter. They'd engulf entire regions in just minutes. Urban fires would become daily disasters. And in an oxygen-saturated environment, even a small electric spark from a light switch could trigger a massive explosion. The human body overloads. Oxygen becomes toxic. We often think the more oxygen, the better, but that's completely wrong. When you breathe pure oxygen for an extended period, the body enters a state known as oxygen toxicity. This condition can cause inflammation and destruction of lung tissue, damage to the central nervous system, leading to seizures, nausea, and loss of consciousness, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and even death. The most vulnerable are infants and the elderly, due to their weaker respiratory systems. Babies can suffer retinal damage, and in severe cases, permanent blindness if exposed to high oxygen environments for too long. Microorganisms and insects would massively disappear. Billions of microorganisms thrive in anaerobic environments, meaning they cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. If the atmosphere turned into 100% oxygen, entire ecosystems of microbes in the soil, human gut, animal digestive systems, and water sources would die off en masse. But it doesn't stop there. Insects like ants, cockroaches, and flies, vital links at the base of the food chain, would also be severely affected. Some species might grow abnormally large due to oxygen oversupply, as happened during the Carboniferous period, but most would die from oxidative stress. And once these foundational organisms vanish, the entire food chain collapses. No bacteria, no grass, no herbivores, no predators. Everything falls like a row of dominoes. How would the planet be affected? If the atmosphere consisted of 100% oxygen, both the air density and atmospheric pressure would increase significantly. This would lead to several major consequences. The Earth's crust would slightly expand due to the added pressure from the denser atmosphere. Airplanes and satellites wouldn't operate as they normally do. The increased air resistance would require much more fuel, ultimately altering the basic principles of flight and orbital mechanics. Sound would travel faster, which could disrupt communication systems, ultrasound technology, radar operations, and more. This atmospheric shift could even destabilize global weather patterns, as solar energy interacts differently with a denser atmosphere, resulting in stronger storms, fiercer winds, and more extreme climate change. Impact on the brain and DNA. You might think, more oxygen will help the brain work better, right? But in reality, it's quite the opposite. When the body takes in more oxygen than it needs, it enters a state called oxidative stress. This is a condition where free radicals, byproducts of oxygen metabolism, are produced in excess and begin attacking your own cells. The result? Neurons become damaged, leading to headaches, seizures, cognitive disorders, and even coma. Your DNA, the fundamental blueprint of life, suffers structural damage, increasing the risk of mutations, cancer, and neurodegenerative diseases. Earthquakes and ground explosions. It may sound crazy, but if the entire atmosphere were made of pure oxygen, even the Earth itself wouldn't be able to handle it. Here's why. Oxygen is heavier than nitrogen, the gas that currently makes up about 78% of our atmosphere. If all that nitrogen were replaced with oxygen, the total mass of the atmosphere would increase dramatically, resulting in much higher surface pressure. The consequences: the Earth's crust, already under constant stress from geological activity, would face additional downward pressure. In regions with tectonic fault lines, like the Pacific Ring of Fire, this could trigger earthquakes or cause the ground to crack open. Additionally, reactive minerals like iron, sulfur, and magnesium deep underground would undergo rapid oxidation, leading to intense and abnormal heat generation. Combined with the increased pressure, this could cause small-scale geological explosions, shattering rock layers, causing sinkholes, eruptions, or even surface-level detonations. A worse outcome: Earth as we know it, gone. If the entire atmosphere were made of pure oxygen, Earth wouldn't just burn, it would rust, collapse, and slowly go extinct. This isn't just a doomsday scenario. It would be a completely different planet, one where humans could no longer survive. Breathing pure oxygen for extended periods isn't good for your lungs. It's a silent toxin. Medical experts recommend using pure oxygen only for short-term treatment. Otherwise, the lung lining becomes damaged. Air sacs, alveoli, can swell and rupture, leading to shortness of breath and even coughing up blood. Concrete, steel, and our towering structures would crumble. Oxygen doesn't just age the body faster, it destroys materials at a much higher rate. In a high-oxygen environment, iron would rust in just hours, not years. Steel reinforcements inside concrete would expand and crack, weakening buildings, bridges, and roads. Copper, aluminum, and zinc would corrode aggressively, causing electrical systems, wiring, and industrial machines to fail repeatedly. What does that mean for us? Even our strongest constructions, overpasses, skyscrapers, even nuclear power plants, would rapidly decay without constant repair. The balance of Earth's atmosphere isn't random. It's the result of 4.5 billion years of evolution and natural fine-tuning. The current mix, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and small amounts of argon, CO2, and trace gases, isn't just a coincidence. It's the perfect ratio to sustain life without destroying it. Add more oxygen, and Earth could literally become a ball of fire. We are living under a thin layer of gas that wraps around our planet, like a perfectly tailored blanket, warm enough, cool enough, calm enough for humans to love, breathe, grow, and thrive without fear of being poisoned, burned, or crushed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching.